my blissful selves. Let us know something more about meditation. Now we can continue the discussion of meditation in this lecture. So, those who meditate have to take sattvic food. And if the sattvic food can be taken, it has to be taken in a limited quantity and according to the season. If at all we have to be healthy or to maintain the body temperature of 37 degrees centigrade. So to do that, we have to take hot food during rainy season and winter so that our body temperature can be maintained. And in summer, we have to take cold food so that our body temperature can be maintained. So if we take more food, we get sleep. And if we sleep, how we can meditate? Those who sleep cannot meditate. So we have to take the food half of our stomach, and half of it water has to be taken. And we have to take the food which can be digested easily and even in a limited quantity. But those who do heavy work, they have to take more food. Those who are very lazy and sleep for a longer duration, they cannot meditate. Those who take more food or those who take less food, they also cannot meditate. So we should not take that food which cannot be easily digested. So if we meditate continuously, the light of many colors can be seen. These lights have been called as tanmatric lights. So when we meditate continuously, there the sun can be seen, and even the moon can be seen, and the vast light can be seen. So there the body disappears, and the names and forms of the sense objects disappear. The objects of the waking also cannot be seen during meditation. So when we meditate continuously on our real nature, then the demons and the Brahma demons can be seen. So they frighten us because we have destroyed the desires of sensory objects. They have not destroyed the desires of sensory objects. So the meditators have to destroy the desires of sensory objects, the desire of the gross body, and the gross body consciousness has to be given up. If at all, they have to meditate. And the demons and the Brahma demons frighten us frighten the sadhakas or the meditators. So there is the dream world, and the dream world has been created by our mind only. The mind only creates the dream world and the objects of the dream. In the same way, our mind only has created the waking state and the objects of the waking state. So, the objects of the waking state are imaginary. They are not at all really existing. And if that is the case, why we have to fear about the demons and the Brahma demons? So when the spiritual seekers will be continuing the meditation, so there come the obstacles in the form of the demons and the Brahma demons. And even very big buffaloes can be seen. So we have to face all these courageously by thinking that they are not at all really existing. They are false. They are mere imaginary. So during spiritual practice, the demons and the Brahma demons frighten us. But the gods and goddesses, they grace us. So these can be only experienced by those who meditate continuously on their real nature. And if anyone tries to be in their real nature, the subtle bodies can be seen. If a spiritual aspirant is in a position to try to be in his real nature, then all types of subtle bodies can be seen. The Rakshasas, demons, the Brahma demons, and the gods and goddesses, all they can be seen. So the particular spiritual aspirant may be in the house, or maybe in the field, or maybe in the forest, but all these can be seen by him. So, when a particular spiritual aspirant is meditating continuously on his real nature, they only can see all these subtle bodies. The evil subtle bodies have been called as the demons. The virtuous subtle bodies have been called as the gods and goddesses. And those who have been in a position to meditate, they can hear the anahata sounds. Anahata means without any interruption, like this. So, this set of sounds can be seen one who has been in a position to meditate continuously on their own nature. Then, during a meditation, one can hear very big sounds like a bomb, and one can see vast light. Even the melodious songs can be heard, and very beautiful forms can be seen during meditation. And during meditation, even the bell sounds can be heard. and unpleasant, harsh words can be heard. So, such a spiritual person who has been in a position to meditate on his own real nature, he can know what exactly is there in others' minds. And he can know whether what happens to a particular person in the future. And so he will be in a position to know, or when he attains the self knowledge, what happened in the past and what is happening in the present and what will happen in the future. He will be in a position to know what is happening in the present, in the whole world, what is happening in America, what is happening in Canada, or what is happening in United Kingdom, like that. And what will happen in the future. The spiritual sadhaka or the self-realized one knows the structure of the human body, how exactly the human body has been created, what are the exact the parts of the human body, and even about the whole creation of the world. He knows all the nadis and their functions. So there are many nadis, in our body. He knows all the nadis and their functions. And the so-called Dhanvantari of Ayurveda knows only few nadis and their functions. But the spiritual sadhakas and the jnanis know all the nadis and all their functions. Not only that, the so-called self-realized will be in a position to relieve the misery of the subtle bodies. The subtle bodies have been there, so they have been suffering. And he relieves the misery of the subtle bodies. He asks the subtle bodies about their well being, about their misery. By this spiritual practice, he attains the self knowledge. And by attaining self knowledge, he gets occult powers, the so called siddhis. And if he would be in a position to touch the diseased bodies, so the bodily diseases will be cured. And if we take the bathed water of the Sharpriraj, and if we spray that water to the diseased persons, so their skin diseases will be cured. So, at the presence of the self realized, the ghosts can be relieved automatically. So, this type of occult powers have been at the feet of the self realized, but the concerned self realized care a least about these occult powers. So, if we attain the occult powers, but we will not get the permanent happiness. One may fly in the sky, or one may be sunk in the water, or one may be buried in the soil, but he will not only be in a position to experience the permanent happiness. So the permanent happiness can be only attained by destroying the desires of the sensory objects, the desire of gross body and the gross body consciousness. And the self realized one, he has achieved all these. He has destroyed the desire of sensory objects, the desire of gross body, and the body consciousness. So wherever the self knowledge is there, there is there are the occult powers. But the ordinary people, if they have to get the occult powers, so they have to do yajna, yaga, fasting, or uttering some mantras like that. And the siddhis that have been acquired by the ordinary people will be exhausted. But the siddhis of the self-realized are not diminished, or they cannot be exhausted. So, like this, let's continue the discussion of meditation in the next lecture. And by this, I end my talk.